Hello, America. Hello, Chile, Venezuela, Africa, Peru, China. Let's see, I was supposed to remember one. Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, had to remember that. I cannot sleep. As you can see, my hair is all poof. Got the roots all done. The reason for the poof is I just got done with the heating, doing the heating spray on there. And then I had a happy time blowing it out. It's more like, listen to me, listen to me. You will turn into a shape. You will turn into a shape. Starting to get kind of long, which I'm being told by a good portion of you that you prefer it long, and so do I. Long neck, bottom lip goes that way, nose goes like a ski jump, so you kind of defray from looking at all that with a big old mop of hair. How y'all doing? Welcome to Over 50 and Fantabulous. I am your goofy, over made up, fake-faced host, Miss Fab, and I can't even talk. It is 3:43 in the morning. Have flat iron heated. Will travel. So yes, I'm coming in here. You're like, what are you gonna do after you flat iron your hair? Are you going to a party? 3:43 a.m. No. I just can't sleep, and this is normally my work time. Keep in mind, I've sprayed the whole head with the heat protectant. It's just dried over. So, anywho, I had a quite matter-of-fact chat with my line supervisor, expressing to her that I was dead serious about getting hired. I said it in a little bit more sophisticated way. I must get my words together and calm down. You ever have so many things to say that you start to trip over your words? Basically, I just take little bits and pieces. And you ladies, you pros out there, know exactly what I'm talking about. This is just to get the poof down and to give it more of a shine and more in control, trying to have less of the quote-unquote white Brillo pad effect. So anywho, then overtime has been few and far between, and I was invited to work the overtime. I got all the way there and overtime was canceled. That was nothing on me. It's just if there's not enough volunteers, it's not going to happen. And I so y'all know what's happening. I so needed that, but that's okay. Rent is paid, and I'm just so glad. Anywho, this isn't a sad, sappy video. This is a chit-chat video about life, about stuff. Then usually I go and I pull it up and hold it down like this. Yes, if there are any men watching, and I doubt that there are, we go through a heck of a lot to try to look purty for y'all. And yeah, perhaps would you like it if I stayed a little bit closer? Perhaps. Just don't like the thought of being all in your face, you know? Sometimes don't realize I'm all in your face until after the video is complete, and then I don't want to do the video again, so it goes out as it is. I'm not that fussy about it. The only one of the things you're going to think is kind of silly, when I do a video and I fumble my words rather badly, I get very self-conscious. I can't say the word conscious about it. Conscious about it. And I will actually redo an entire video because I fumbled my words. I don't know why that is. Ms. Spishiker was my English teacher. and encouraged us to write short stories, so on and so forth. And she was a very encouraging kind of person. I will never forget her as long as I live. I'm going to be, what, 56? So take 15 away from that. That's how many, I was 15 years old at the time. Something like that. 16. But yeah. Don't you wish, ladies, that we could wake up with this effect? Don't you wish some of us could just wake up and have it just all fall into place without manipulating it, without spraying stuff into it, without crying with it, without beating on it, without having to put a cap on, without having to put a bonnet on, without having to put a scarf on, without having to have silk pillowcases? Some of y'all know what I'm talking about them pillowcases. For some of you that don't have silk pillowcases and don't know what I'm talking about, a nice silk pillowcase lets the hair slide. You're sliding and it's not bunching up quite as much, and you can, keep your hair kind of smooth. But I digress. So anywho, no OT. But I have been coming back from breaks a little bit early, cutting my lunch a little bit short, making sure I'm ahead of the entire crowd for the daily meeting before the shift, being extra attentive. I used to work for a very huge company as a machine operator, and back in the 90s, the only female amongst men, and I was making a few pennies shy of $20 an hour, which would probably equate to about $28 an hour now. Yes, indeed. And how I got that job is by doing what I'm doing right now to get hired on this one. And something about Almighty God, there's just something about Him. He will give you wisdom. He will give you wisdom and insight. Stay within His will. Praise Him and pray to Him. Guess what? I've been talking about this the last video, and now right now on this Hangout. I was told by a person, there was 4 people hired, and I was told by the one gentleman that got hired, who's a very, very kind person, there will be hiring in the month of October. There will be hiring in the month of November. All of a sudden, I wasn't even told that before that, just something overwhelming within me said, tighten up, get a little more serious, lose the poo-poo attitude in your mind as you're processing widgets. Lose the poo-poo attitude in your mind and have a pleasant attitude. I mean, I had a fairly pleasant attitude. I'm just very quiet. It's kind of like I was almost trying to disappear. I figured the quieter I would stay, the more unnoticed I would be, and the less flack I would have to deal with. So I keep your mouth shut, become invisible, just function, do what you have to do, become invisible, and you won't have to deal with negativity. And what I found kind of interesting, someone out there has been praying for me. Thank you so very much. Goliath, as I have called him, last shift was very nice to me. I was almost kind of afraid. I thought maybe you ever have someone be naughty to you and all of a sudden be nice to you, and you're wondering, when is the other shoe going to fall? I don't know what happened. Well, I kind of know what happened. Your prayers and my prayers combined in a prayer chain is what happened. Yeah, I usually start in the front, bangs down, curl back, got ding a ding a ding a ding a ding, and you got to stick to those 80s, Ding a ding a ding. Remember that? Don't get mad at me. She says she know Jesus. She's talking about the 80s and disco. Yes. I'm talking about the past, but I'm not living it, okay? My hair may be my hair may be back there, but I'm not. Goodness gracious. I was watching Lady W's video. She had a library tour. She had a home tour. And then this one video where she's talking about a lot of different things, including a prize that she won. Love her. I think it's Lady W. If you're watching, hey girl, how you doing? She is a Southern gal. She is, to me, what her name says, her YouTube name says, a lady, you know, a Southern lady, something that, you know, a real lady. You know, I am rough around the edges. Y'all know that. Y'all know that I am rough around the edges. And, you know, oh, mama did the best she could raising us, telling us how to be as a woman, how to be as a young lady. You know, she did the best that she could. Yeah, so there's the Brillo. Let's transform the Brillo. Dun, da, 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 da. A little bit. I'm sorry for the exciting conversation, but this is just basically some chit chat. You know, I'm here sitting here with my cat. I do talk to Tim each and every day, you know. Who's Tim? Tim is someone that I love very much and who lives thousands and thousands of miles away and who has come here to Carolina to see me and who has flown me out there to be with him, so on and so forth, and so on and so forth. And we are incommunicado every day. But, you know, we Skype a little bit and talk a little bit, but that's, you know, I don't have anyone here, a gal friend to talk to go out to lunch with, even if it's, you know, somewhere El Cheapo. So I turn that camera on and I find a little activity and I like this and I just converse with all of you. I was going to try to do a video hangout, but I got a little bit confused where the little faces are on the bottom and you can chit chat, but it was kind of confusing. I have got to figure that out so we can talk. Yeah. So I have just during the week a little bit watched a few videos, watched a few more today. This is what happens. I come home so exhausted after feeling like I had the Jane Fonda workout. For those of you who remember who Jane Fonda is, she had little workout videos in the what, 80s? Was it the 80s? Anywho, I come home so exhausted. I take a shower and try to get the dishes that are soaking in soapy water done and try to organize myself for the next day, that kind of thing. And I am just so exhausted. I try to watch videos and stuff like this. So I have not been as diligent as I normally am. And for that, I do apologize. And I'm sure you have been hearing that from a lot of us lately. How, oh, I'm sorry I'm behind in videos. I'm sorry I haven't gotten to your videos. It's because life steps in. Trying to earn some money steps in. Trying to get hired steps in. Life. Heck, I don't think I've talked to my son in about 2 weeks. It's crazy. So yeah, this is basically what I do. And then what I probably will end up doing, just to kind of save the straightening point, my hair being a little bit straighter and a little more shinier and a little bit straighter, is I'll probably put a scarf on my head as I sleep, slicking it back. And then I can kind of refresh it, so to speak, by using the blow dryer, wetting it ever so slightly and using the blow dryer, and it'll automatically just jump right back into place because it's, being straightened. I do believe that that heat product also is it's got a consistency where it's kind of got the effect slightly of hairspray. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like your hair is trained in a shape and it'll stay that way for a day or two. At least it does for me because my hair is naturally thick. My eldest sister has baby fine bone straight hair naturally. And, I remember her days of getting perms, and I would kind of crack a smile because my hair is permanently a perm. Not the perm where you get it permanently straight, the perm where it's curly. Yeah, I am of the world. I am of two worlds. I'm of two worlds where I totally understand both sets of perm. I totally understand both worlds, so to speak. Y'all feeling what I'm saying? So yeah. This time, so I wouldn't have this big dark circle patch in the back. I started the bleaching of the roots in the back with the mirror. And then I worked my way to the front. Yeah, it's still got some pretty good dark patches back there. There's still a little bit of youth left. I feel like I'm all over the place with this conversation. Ever talk into the camera and think about what you're saying and say, this sounds really stupid. But what am I supposed to do? Put on airs and pretend to be someone that I'm not? Which you would all just go, you would not like that. Or just be myself. I'm just pretending, you are right here, sitting here. I'm trying to think, is there anything else exciting that's happened and I'm embarrassed to say no. Oh, there is one little thing that I will show you in a moment. Someone, got my little finger too close. I need to get some kind of what do you call that, a heat glove or something like that. And then this one didn't come with it. So then in the little square portion in the back of the center of my head, kind of back there, I think I just tend to just want to bring it kind of straight, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm sure Oprah has the same difficulties. Isn't that something? Not necessarily just Oprah, but people of that wealth and that kind of a lifestyle. I don't poo-poo on that. If you're blessed to have it, you're blessed to have it. Never poo-poo on someone for doing really well, you know. So that's just wrong. Imagine you wake up and take a shower, someone shows up, and you sit in your chair and they do your hair, they do your makeup. If it's necessary, they do your nails. And what's really cool about that, if you need your hair trimmed, they see it. You get a haircut like right there, sitting in your home. Another person shows up every season, spring, summer, fall, and winter. And they roll this rack in. It's covered over. They uncover it, and there's all this different clothing. And you sit there. They know your size. They know your body. They know your style. And all of that stuff is done for you. Oh, yes, indeed. That is a different world, ladies. Even I would venture to guess the language spoken, so to speak. The conversations are totally different. Can you imagine being being in that category where you sit down to supper and there are so many forks and spoons as you look at the serving, the servingware, whatever? It's kind of confusing. Could any of you slip into that lifestyle rather quickly? Could you adapt yourself to something like that? I don't know. I know what a salad fork and a serving fork is. I know the little bowl that they put in front of you, sometimes with a squeezed lemon, is a finger bowl for washing your hands. I do know that. How do you know that? Well, watch enough movies and enough television, you can kind of figure it out, you know. What was the movie, the Princess Brides, where I think it is Princess Bride or Princess something or other. The one with Julie Andrews and that young actress. I can't think of the young actress's name. Where she is the daughter of a single mom and they need an heir. So here comes Julie Andrews' character, and I can't think of the guy that played the butler. I love rags to riches movies. Do you like that? I love those kinds of things. Basically, that's about as long as it is at the bottom. It tends, this is going to sound strange, it tends to grow here first, like, and go like Ronald McDonald. It just goes like this. I don't know why. It's just how it is. So I'm just going to do a few more swipes. You know, if I'm not careful, I may just go, you know, you may be looking at the new Telly Savalas female version if I'm not careful. But yeah, Princess Diaries, I think it was called. Is it Anne Hathaway that played the princess? I think it might have been Anne Hathaway. One of my other movies that I like is Breakfast at Tiffany's. And then what's the one? Oh my goodness gracious. I See the People in My Mind. I think again it's the same actress from the Breakfast at Tiffany's. And she is quite English, but she is kind of rough English with a very thick accent. And they're trying to transform her into a lady. What is that movie? Cannot think of the name of that movie. This is in my mind. Do you know what I'm thinking in my mind as I'm talking? Oh, this is so boring. Anyways, let's go back. But you see what happens? It's like I have to do it again. I wish I could remember that movie. There was one big song from that movie, too. It's kind of funny. I see all the actors and actresses. I know somebody's screaming the name of it to the camera. Oh, gosh, I wish I could remember that. This is what I want to talk about. I'm just going to say this DG because I don't know if you want even your name announced. So I'll just say the letters. I'm just going to cover this part. I'm not real sure. I was actually quite surprised. This was in my mailbox one day this week, and so I open it up. There's no note or anything. There's no note, and just in total shock. This was in there. Thank you so very much. I don't know who you are now. If you are a subby of mine, could you please send me a note here on YouTube in the messages? Could you please do that so I could thank you properly? But this is it says Coolpix L32 camera. I was going to do a separate unboxing, but that didn't make any sense to me. This is a gift that I received. And my birthday is this month, so I'm going to call this one of the nicest birthday gifts that I have ever received. Thank you so very much. And basically, it's a battery-operated camera. And what I love about it, it's very light. It actually comes with the batteries. And I tried it out. You know, I took my memory card out of my other camera. And this is what it looks like. The viewfinder does not flip out, but it's in the back. Some of you may know a lot about this camera. I did not until I read the instructions. But DG, I don't want to say your name just in case you did not want your name mentioned. Like I say, DG. I'll just say Washington. Let's just say that, the state of Washington. But if you're out there, I'm pretty sure you're going to recognize this packaging because you were so kind enough to send this to me. Thank you so very much. And basically under here, you, if I can do this correctly, you pull this little thing out like this, and there's the area for the batteries. And then, I don't know if I'm doing this correctly. I don't have my glasses on. Oh, wait a minute. Stop being a fake fakey and put your glasses on. My Dollar Tree glasses. And then you put your batteries in. And then it goes down. And then I think it turns, the on and off is right here. You see that? Just like that. And then turn it off, and it's kind of funny. It's kind of like when I'm kind of driven to tears at work or something like this, or I'm having a particularly poo-poo day. I'm not alone. We all have poo-poo days. I am nobody special. We're all human beings, and no matter what category it is, whether it's work, life, husband, whatever it is, you know, I just want to say that. I'm going to say that with humility. You know what I mean? We all have poo-poo days. Show me a person that does not have a poo-poo day. I've never met one in my entire life. Even a person that has it all together in their lives, we all have a poo-poo day. We're all related to somebody. We all work around somebody. We all have to go into the grocery store and drive in traffic and be around somebody. And sometimes you are just going along and minding your own freaking business, and someone else will step in and make it a poo-poo day. Or something comes in the mail and you owe something you think you didn't owe, or money's out of your account that you didn't expect, or just a poo-poo, just life. You know what I mean? It also came with this strap, which I attached. But thank you from the bottom of my heart. But I was saying, going on about that, so I was having one of those particular days, and I says, well, let me just go check the post office box before I come home, because once I get home, I'm just too tired to move. You know what I mean? And so I go there having this day. I'm all sweaty. I got this thing on my head. Y'all seen the little wrap I put on my head, and I'm literally just shuffling over to the post office box. I open it up, and I pull this package out, and I sit in my car for a moment, and I open it up, and I was literally like this. And then I just started to cry. Thank you so much. Our Heavenly Father, He knows us so well. Yes, He does. Joy unspeakable and full of glory. I think what I'll do is maybe I will do a video partially with my other camera and with this, and then we can see if the difference. Just kind of curiosity, right? I think I'll try to do something very short with that. This is the one that I normally use, which my son gave me for I think it was for Mother's Day a couple of years ago. He was living out of state at the time, and I think it was either Mother's Day or my birthday. I really can't remember. and he called me up, and he was working at the time, and he said, I hardly, have given you anything, over these years, and I says, no, son, you this, that, no, I want to. And so this means a lot to me because it came from my son. Y'all understand what I'm saying. So yeah, DG and red. I love the red color. Thank you so very much, dear heart. Thank you so very much. All right, how much more do we have to go? I think we got a little more on this side, but it's an amazing thing. You could be sitting out there thinking that everything is going against you and you're never going to have another happy day. Oh, contraire, my friends. Oh, I beg to differ. I'm sitting here and you all know exactly how I'm living. You know exactly the type of work I'm doing. And no, every day isn't a glorious, happy day. But there are some days that are just happy, wonderful days that make up the difference from all the poo-poo. Thank you so much for your positive words, your positive comments. Thank you for your love. I am ever so grateful to you. And next month, let's see, 2013, 2014, 2015, next month will be my 2-year anniversary on the YouTube. There are other media outlets out there, let's just say, that are kind of like YouTube. So, don't put if you are a content creator and you'd like to expand your horizons, there are other venues out there. They may not be as popular let me get closer, I'm sorry. They may not be, excuse me, as popular as YouTube, but they're there. I know that there's one which I have started on, and kind of the same format. I'm just, if I could get some kind of work in broadcasting, I would really like to do that. That's what I would really like to do. If you have your choice, let's see. Widgets, some kind of video, television, not necessarily big television, or just some kind of something. I don't know what. Let's see. This is the widget. Yeah, I think this one wins. I think you win. I never thought that I would look into a camera, a video camera, into a camera and feel comfortable. But I feel absolutely at home in front of the camera. I do. As I'm sure many of you content creators, you makeup divas, you daily vloggers, folks that cook, chefs, the bald chef, Mama Rosa, who also does cooking as well. It's just a joy. I mean, you don't like doing it every day, every day, every day. Some folks do. They do enjoy the daily vlog. But sometimes I get a little bit nervous, like now, when this is off the cuff and live, but I don't know why it is. I feel like I'm closer to you when I'm live, as when I do the biblical chats. I feel spiritually a lot more in tune when I'm live. Once again, if this has turned into a video, I should have said that at the very beginning, it doesn't matter to me, whether you watch for a few minutes, 60 seconds, 30 seconds, that doesn't matter to me. Okay, I'm trying to get the back now. The back of my huge head. I'm telling you, I think my head is 34 inches all the way around, I swear. I'm trying to remember when I was married to a man that loved the Western theme back in the day. And I'm trying to remember, I think I had a 30, like when you buy a cowboy hat, a 34 and a quarter, something like that. I have a very huge head. Okay, I think it looks kind of okay. You just have to feel. Burning my fingers. I used to so admire and even be a little bit jealous of my sister's baby fine hair when I was a kid. And then as I got older, I learned to appreciate my thick hair. And I forget who it was, whether it was one of my friends or my mother, because it was so many years ago. And they said, well, you may be, sometimes getting upset because of all the things you have to go through with very thick, wiry, and curly hair, or just curly hair. But there are ladies that are going to the shop and paying a lot of money to get the hair that you have naturally. So why don't you just count your blessings? And vice versa. You know, if you have baby fine hair and you're fretting out, it won't fall together right, it's so baby fine, and I've got to use all these different products to thicken it up. I dare say there are many ladies going to the salon, having stuff done to get the hair that you naturally have. Isn't that something? Not all of us, but some of us are just doing all these things that we have to do to get it together. Yeah, I think I'll swipe these again. They were kind of going like this, so I snipped a little piece there. I'm so glad they finally grew back because that. All right, girls, I think we're gonna close this out. Let's go back in here like this a little bit. And it seems crazy to be up at a 4:19 a.m., but this is my normal time to be awake. And normally I would fluff her back. You see what's happening? And then come behind the ears a little bit, and let's use this little. I think it came out kind of okay. Do I wish that I could get myself together like this every day and look like this every day? Sure, I do. But with my job, and there is a scent, a mechanical scent that gets on my clothing, and gets in my hair, and that's why I started covering. I was trying to figure out, I kept seeing, I think I told you this before, I kept seeing, or maybe I didn't, these different ladies, and with their hair covered, and I thought that was, I'm like, well, yeah, I can understand in a manufacturing environment where a person would want to cover their hair. Especially if you went out and you sat in that chair for 4 or 5 hours and got your hair braided, or you got a weave put in, and you're sitting there for maybe more than 4 hours, whatever the time frame is, and you have invested a lot of this. There is no way that you want to walk into that manufacturing plant with your hair exposed and get all that stuff in there, so you cover, and so I soon discovered after a certain point, I says, and I was washing my hair more and more. I says, that's it. I just got to wrap this stuff up. And I finally understood why, a lot of the girls were doing that. even with my white-haired old self, you know. Unnaturally white from here back. Y'all know that. I'm not. This is the hairstyle from 1980 something. This is the hairstyle from 1990 something. This is the hairstyle from early 2000. I just can't seem to get away from it. Funny story. I went to, when my mother was still alive, I went out of state to visit, and I had this haircut but shorter, you know, kind of like, you know, like shorter, like this, you know, the shorter version of this. And so I got off the bus. I took a Greyhound bus, I think it was. I don't know. I just ended up at the bus station. I can't remember all the details because it was literally decades ago. I get off it was in the 80s or early 90s. I think it was the 80s. I get off the bus with my 1980s haircut. My younger sister has the same haircut. We just looked at each other and laughed. It was the weirdest thing. We go over, I go to my older sister's house. She's got the same haircut, all three of us. And we're looking at each other kind of quietly, and then we burst into laughter. And so my mother's hair was kind of, she had baby fine hair, which is where my eldest sister got it from. And it was shoulder length and kind of always kind of put back in a bun or just put back with clips or whatever. And so I had money at that time because I was working that job, that good job. And I said, come on, mommy. I go, we're going to go get you said you want to get your hair cut. Come on. You know, I always made sure to have some extra money with me to spoil her because she had a very rough life. And my job was to make her smile and to spoil her as best as I could with what I had. I just love spoiling her, you know. And so we get in there, and it's a Hispanic shop. My relative, I'm half Hispanic, so all my relatives were in there. Hola, ¿cómo está ustedes? You know, hey, how you doing? Yeah. And so the lady, the stylist said, well, what do you want to have done? And she just looks at me and she points to my head. And so mother and three daughters, all with the 1980s haircut. What a happy memory. Oh, yes, indeed. And all the Spanish food. Oh. I tell my younger sister whenever I go, and it's been many years since I have, unfortunately. I said, I'm not getting off the bus or off the plane unless I know there's a home-cooked meal. You know the deal. That's the rules. And of course, she happily obliges. She happily does it. All right, y'all. There it is. And I think the other reason why it comes so silky smooth, you know, beyond this and the heating, the heat protectant, is the conditioner that comes with the bleaching kit or with any hair coloring kit. Hello, hair bleaching kit and hair coloring kit companies. Could you please provide that in a ginormous half-gallon jug? I will be first in line to be a customer. All right, y'all. Thank you for listening. I feel a lot better. I do. I don't know. I keep thinking that, you know, I do 2 or 3 types of videos and I just kind of do what I feel. And sometimes I get a little, you know, kind of concerned that it's kind of boring or whatever. But I can't do that. Like I said before, it can't feel like a weight, you know. It has to be fun. And I really enjoy doing this and being here with you. All right. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one, okay? Love you so much. Bye, everybody.